The LSU NCBRT Academy of Counterterrorist Education wordmark appears in gold on a purple background. A gray outline map of the United States of America shows a yellow line leap from the outline of the state of Louisiana to the state of Colorado. The screen fills with a landscape vista with green rolling hills, a wide calm river, and a background of vast mountain ranges. The video pans to look up at tall, thin trees filled with yellow leaves, and the sunshine brightly streaming. The video changes again to a valley filled with homes and businesses tucked in the landscape, and the text, Granby, Colorado, appears in the skyline.
Granby is a wonderful small town where you know your neighbors.
The city flag of Granby, with a year established as 1905, waves in the breeze. Cindy Rimmer, principal Middle Park High School, speaks in a meeting room with a dais behind her.
People in Granby just have really big hearts. They're kind to one another. I've lived here for quite a while, and I've been in the school system for almost 25 years, and I know kids, and I know their families, and they know my kids, and it was a wonderful place to have our kids grow up, and we watch out for each other, we take care of each other.
A large brick building is shown with Middle Park Senior High School, home of the Panthers, on the side of the building. Cindy Rimmer speaks to the camera again.
Making sure that our students are safe is my #1 priority. In order to do that, we need to practice so that we are aware of how our systems work, make sure that we have everything in place that we possibly can to keep our students and staff safe every day when they're in our building.
An aerial video shows the roads of Granby, winding through a picturesque valley, with a large mountain range in the back. An SUV slowly rides by the fences and over a bridge. An inside shot of the SUV shows a police officer driving with sunglasses. The officer is identified as Dave Schaffer, Chief of Police, Granby Police Department.
My name is Dave Schaffer, and I'm the police chief for the town of Granby, Colorado. I've been working with LSU staff over the past 6 months, along with the Grand County Sheriff's Office, to do the pre-planning for this course and host it here in Granby, Colorado.
He speaks in full uniform at a picnic table outside, in an area with small trees with fall foliage.
Recent events have shown that these type of critical incidents can happen anywhere, from a small community to a large-scale metropolitan city. This could happen in anybody's backyard, and so that's the value of this training, is to ensure that no matter the size of your agency, that you're as prepared as you can be for a critical incident.
A topographical map of the United States zooms in on Colorado, and then again to Grand County, highlighted as a grayed out section. A pinpoint spot identifies Granby on the central east side of Grand County.
Granby is kind of unique. We're a resort community.
An operating ski lift is moving up a snow-covered mountain trail. It's a sunny day, and people are skiing and snowboarding down the trail. The image changes to lush, green trees and grass lining a dirt road surrounded by mountains. 2 people bike down the scenic road. A group of men with backpacks walk up a trail on a hill, lined with aspen trees.
It's kind of a 365-day playground for outdoor activities. In the winter, there's skiing, there's snowmobiling. In the summer, there's biking, hiking, camping. So we get a large influx of people here from all over the country. And the ability to have a large-scale, potentially a mass casualty event exists here, even though we are remote.
A graphic shows the state of Rhode Island at 1,214 square miles, compared to Grand County, Colorado, at 1,870 square miles, and the state of Delaware at 1,982 square miles.
Grand County geographically is huge. The geography makes it difficult when there is an emergency or an incident to get the right people where they need to be to support.
Another topographical map shows Grand County in green, and the rest of the surrounding counties in purple. The Rocky Mountain National Park is a darker green in the northeastern corner of the county. The image zooms down and shows the location of Berthoud Pass at 11,306 feet elevation on the southeast side of the Grand County border. A line is drawn on the route of travel from Berthoud Pass north to Granby.
If there is something happening at the top of Berthoud Pass, emergency response to our school would be almost an hour away, if not more, which makes that a little bit scary.
The map flattens and the route is further drawn across Grand County of State Highway 40, and the locations of Winter Park, Fraser, and Hot Sulphur Springs are added to the Granby location. The 4 towns are spread out across the state highway at similar intervals of distance. The logo of the Fraser Winter Park Police is between Fraser and Winter Park in the southeast of the county. The Granby Police logo is next to Granby in a more northern location, and the Grand County Sheriff's Office logo is next to Hot Sulphur Springs, to the west of Granby.
The Granby Police Department, the Grand County Sheriff's Office, along with Fraser Winter Park Police, those are the 3 law enforcement agencies that are kind of all in a row along State Highway 40. That provides the bulk of your law enforcement response here, but we're working to integrate a lot of EMS, a lot of fire, and a lot of law enforcement into a unified approach towards an event.
On a white screen, logos from all the community stakeholders are shown, from Denver Health and West and East Grand School Districts to the National Park Service and other surrounding counties' emergency responders services.
We're probably going to be somewhere around 120 public safety folks for this training scenario. Police, fire, EMS, and some of the metropolitan agencies. So probably at least a dozen public agencies are represented during this training.
Dave Schaffer, Chief of Police, Granby Police Department, speaks to the camera again.
Having a scenario-based situation like this where we can all highlight what we do well together and look for areas of improvement is very important, not only to the police department, but to all the agencies working up here, because we do understand we're remote and we do understand that working together provides us some success up here.
The flashing yellow light of a school speed limit sign is shown close up and at a distance. Cindy Rimmer, Principal, Middle Park High School, speaks to the camera again.
Ultimately, it's our job that when a parent sends their child to school, that they can trust that we're going to keep them safe. And in order to do that, I need to make sure that I've done everything I can to make sure that they're safe, and this training is absolutely a part of that.
An aerial view is of Grand County with all the leaves in the trees golden yellow, as the sun sparkles on a wide river. The aerial video shows the mountains in the distance and some commercial buildings, parking lots, and roads. The title written across the screen is PER 219, a prepared jurisdiction, integrated response to a sea burn incident.
The main purpose of the integrated response course is to ensure multiple agencies from multiple disciplines can work together so that if something worst case scenario occurs in their jurisdiction, they can mitigate it successfully.
Todd Short, LSU NCBRT/ACE lead instructor for the integrated response course, speaks in front of a classroom. Short sits at a desk and speaks to the camera.
My name is Todd Short. I'm the lead instructor for our integrated response course here in Granby, Colorado. There was a lot of buy-in in Grand County, the city of Granby, and their external stakeholders that provide support to them on a daily basis. For us to be able to come out and do a class of this size, scope, and magnitude is a real testament to how these people feel about their own preparedness initiatives and how important it is to become better as a result of this class.
Brett Schroetland, Sheriff, Grand County, speaks to the camera on the break from the course.
You know, I've been one of those fortunate ones that I've got to been involved in this from the very beginning. And so the instructors and the commitment of the instructors has been incredible from day one. I mean, the time that it takes to lead up to this 3-day class, you know, the instructors on the Zoom calls and the one-on-one calls. I'm one of the few that gets to see how much it actually takes to make a class like this happen.
Todd Short teaches at the front of the classroom again and speaks to the camera.
This is probably the largest and most complex course that we deliver. And one of the reasons that it is so complex is because we have to coordinate people and locations and equipment to make sure that not only the classroom portion of the class, but the full-scale scenario that we're going to run has everything in place before we initiate that part of the course.
An 18-wheeler truck rolls up to a line of orange cones. The truck parks, and NCBRT logistics coordinator, Chris Vincent, opens the back doors to the trailer and begins unloading from wire locker cages, black bags, cardboard boxes, gun cases, and other gear.
My name is Chris Vincent, and I'm a NCBRT logistics coordinator. I'm arriving at the delivery site to meet the truck and the cash and everything involved with it. I'm responsible for the inventory of the cash while it's in my possession. I'm also responsible for maintaining accountability, helping facilitate the class, and probably most importantly, the safety aspect of it.
Chris Vincent, logistics coordinator, LSU NCBRT/ACE, sits at the back of the 18-wheeler and speaks to the camera.
We have that element that we're able to customize what we're bringing to you. This class in particular will have various things that we wouldn't have had in previous deliveries.
A large group of NCBRT instructors and staff assemble outside in the parking lot area, meeting, discussing and walking the areas involved in the scenario-based field training. The group walks a school hallway with metal lockers on either side. The group walks around the school, looks at building maps, and discusses a plan.
So every time we deliver this course, we try to customize it to the jurisdiction. In this particular case, we chose Middle Park High School. We want to make sure that we can create a scenario that really tests the capabilities that have been defined by the stakeholders prior to the course delivery. So the best way to do that is to physically be hands-on. Go through the hallways, go through the classrooms, go through the administrative offices, parking lots, whatever the case may be, so that when we build that scenario, it is very conducive to what they want tested.
Todd Short speaks to the camera again.
And when we do these types of training sessions, we bridge gaps. We identify vulnerabilities, and we capitalize on the things that we do very well. We send a message to our community that we care and that we're concerned about these things that could potentially happen to us, so that when it comes time for a mutual aid response, where multiple agencies and multiple disciplines are coming together, that they can integrate those resources for the best probability of success. Because when you do that, you'll save lives.
Just after sunrise, two men walk across a circular driveway in front of a building. The text Day 1 appears across the screen. The morning sun is higher and the parking lot in front of the same building is filled with cars, police SUVs, and an ambulance slowly drives by. Participants approach a table and fill out paperwork with the help of LSU NCBRT staff. Time-lapse video shows a large meeting room filling up with people.
So during the morning session of day 1, we have a couple icebreaker activities to get what is generally a pretty large number of people talking and engaged.
Todd Short teaches at the front of the room. The NCBRT instructors line up across the entire front of the room, about a dozen. The video splits screens into 3 panels and 3 different instructors are shown talking to the participants in the meeting room. An instructor animatedly gestures to the whiteboard and lectures to the participants who listen and take notes.
And then we transition before lunch into a module of instruction where we talk about the importance of integration and start setting some expectations on how to accomplish that.
A time lapse is of an outdoor area near a river and bridge. Different instructors engage with small groups and lecture to the group as a whole. Community members also speak to the group.
Day 1 afternoon, we do a couple different things. We spend 3 to 4 hours together in breakout groups by discipline and collectively together, talking about a couple of very important things. Number 1, what resources do we have? Number 2, what resources do we need? And then probably most importantly is how we're going to integrate those resources if this were to occur in our jurisdiction. And one of the reasons we do that is because we need the answers to those questions prior to activating the full-scale scenario on day 2.
An aerial shot of a large building complex before dawn. The text, Day 2, Scenario Day appears over the image. Next the time, 6 a.m. appears as a large segregated metal garage door rolls up. Instructors wait outside the back of the 18-wheeler for their materials. In a warehouse, large metal crate lockers are labeled and rolled into position. Pallets are loaded and moved with hand-pushed forklifts. Instructors are in a large circle in the warehouse in orange vests receiving instruction from Andrew Rattiver with NCBRT.
Okay, so instructors, those of you on the safety team, their priorities of work now are to get the cones set up in the street and then also to get the safety cordon set. So we'll need cones here and cones down there, tables down there.
Wagons filled with cones are wheeled outside and set up in the parking areas. A small forklift moves a crate of long tables. Other crates filled with chairs are nearby. Caution tape is used from cone to cone, as Rattiver gives more assignments to NCBRT instructors.
Right, so they just stay with their equipment, the vehicle's searched, they're searched, and I'm going to stack them in here.
Sturdy plastic cases of safety weapons are moved and opened. Blue plastic handguns are shown. Larger crates open with blue-tipped safety rifles.
I got a couple of big things that I'm really passionate about with our mobile deliveries. Probably foremost is safety.
Chris Vinson speaks to the camera again.
The safety protocols that we use, weapons handling, weapon safety, making sure that this training site is sterile, all weapons cleared. We try to make it as sterile as possible.
A close-up of the rifle shows an instructor opening a combination lock to remove the weapons. Another instructor removes each handgun and checks each for ammunition. Chris Vinson and Todd Short speak across a table filled with safety handguns.
We are somewhat fanatical about safety, and so prior to the full-scale scenario being kicked off, we do multiple layers of safety checks.
A line of vehicles is stopped as each vehicle is checked by NCBRT instructors in safety vests.
Those safety checks are conducted by LSU NCBRT instructors at the site.
A table is set up with a sign that says safety check and sign in.
Thank you, sir. And then she has to scan you, and then she'll give you a wristband.
Yes, ma'am.
An instructor uses a security wand metal detector to scan a participant who has his arms raised by his side. An overhead view of the parking lot area shows K-9 police vehicles and large groups of participants waiting to begin. Vehicles move in a slow procession with fire trucks, ambulances, and other emergency vehicles. Participants are given their materials and safety weapons and begin to line up in position in groups. An aerial photo of the large building complex with a football field in the foreground shows clouds of smoke on the side of the building. Scenario begins, 10 a.m., is in white text on the screen.
I immediately saw the smoke at the beginning of the scenario.
Brett Schroetland, Sheriff Grand County, speaks to the camera again.
And that was really the telltale sign that you knew the scenario was going to be real.
A close-up of a metal bucket with black smoke coming out of it is surrounded by 14 small brown upright cylinders that appear to be explosive charges. A Granby fire truck enters the gated area near the smoke. Firemen file out to investigate. 2 men begin operating a fire hose and directing water near the metal bucket. Law enforcement officers make entry into the building. Inside an open airy room, they pass by wounded in the doorway. A woman is sitting on the ground, with blood on her face and hands, as officers apply a tourniquet to her leg. Officers grab victims across the gym floor and escort out victims who can walk, triaging and conferring with other officers and departments. The outside of the Granby Town Hall is shown. Inside, Alexi Kimbrough, Interim Director of Grand County Office of Emergency Management, speaks to a room with people assembled at desks and tables.
Can I have everyone's attention? The EOC has just been activated.
There was a small fire at the school. It has been extinguished. From there, they had shots fired. They've investigated. They have come upon possibly 12 total, 3 KIA, about 6 walking wounded, and the rest level 1 trauma.
People pace while talking on the phone, working on laptops, or writing notes on large easel-sized paper. They are able to watch what is happening in the school gym on a television monitor. Back in the gym, first responders continue to triage by attaching colored tags to the victims. EMS exits an ambulance and walks toward the building. Lines of law enforcement go through the school looking for victims and assessing the crisis. A piece of a pipe is found on the ground in the school and is marked with glow sticks as the officers move on.
They think that there is a possible IED. They are still investigating that.
Victims emerge from the building coughing and wheezing, bending over or clutching their head while sitting on the ground. Scene after scene shows victims being helped to an ambulance or EMT or other emergency personnel. A group of hazmat, bomb squad, and fire department personnel discuss assignments and strategy outside before making entry. The outside of the Emergency Middle Park Health Building is shown with beds being rolled outside, people in the parking lot being assessed, and the charge nurse inside pointing, while victims are rolled in for help. A woman with damage to her leg screams as she is rolled on a hospital bed, another with damage to her abdomen. The screen goes black. Video images zoom through hall after hall and room after room of a sparkling clean and empty high school building. Cindy Rimmer, principal Middle Park High School, speaks to the camera again.
The scenario could have been any Thursday in my building, but not just my building, any building in our district. And so even though we practiced at the high school, I think we could transfer the information that we learned today to any location in our community and have a similar type response. At this point, I think we've just exposed maybe where some of our holes are that we need to work on and where we need to come together to develop some systems that will work for our entire community no matter where something might happen.
Brett Schroetlin, Sheriff Grand County, walks across a parking lot and speaks while driving his police vehicle.
The scenario is accurately depicted on real-world events and things that have and can happen. I think everybody came away from this exercise and this training with eyes wide open, a full recognition of things that need to be done better, things that need to be reinforced and reviewed.
A view of an empty field as the sun rises over the mountains in the distance. Day 3 is written across the image. Todd Short, NCBRT lead instructor, speaks to the camera.
So day 3 is a very important day of this course. And the reason it's important is because it gives everybody that participated the opportunity to come together and have a collective, positive, reinforcing discussion on what they did well, and also to address the challenges that they may have faced during the course of the week.
A woman writes on an easel, "Strengths and weaknesses of the EOC." An NCBRT instructor leads a discussion, and Alexi Kimbrough, interim director of Grand County Office of Emergency Management, responds. She then speaks to the camera.
I definitely do think that the class will influence a few different policies and procedures. The main one would be the first responders really sending the EOC a representative. They really saw what doing that can do for them and how it can help them. And so I think that was very beneficial for me, but also for them.
Cindy Rimmer, principal Middle Park High School, speaks to the camera again.
This training was extremely important for our high school. We do monthly fire drills and we do quarterly lockdowns, shelter in place. We review that with our teachers ahead of time, and then we practice with our students. However, after today, I think we need to switch up how we do those with our kids. So what does a reunification look like? Who communicates those things out? Who is meeting with parents? Those are things that we need to talk about.
A series of images show class discussions in small groups and at tables.
When you have open and honest dialogues about what you're knocking out of the park and things you need to work on, you're absolutely going to get better. And day 3 of this particular course gives everybody the opportunity to have those fruitful discussions. So when they walk out of here, they feel good about themselves and their community because they earned that.
A time-lapse video shows the meeting classroom emptying out as people gather their things and leave. Brett Schroetlin, Sheriff Grand County, speaks to the camera again.
You know, I think a couple of the things that stand out right away is our integration between our Emergency Operations Center and our crews in the field. I think that's critical to figure out that Incident Command EOC interface. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on making some additional notification groups to make sure that our key stakeholders are involved in the incident right from the get-go, and just increasing that communication piece.
Josh Hardy, Mayor of Granby, speaks to the camera in the classroom.
I think, again, through this training, it's really helped us see where we can shine. And, you know, in Granby, you always think of, it's Granby, nothing can happen here, but this has been a real eye-opener that things can go wrong quickly. And having been prepared for that and having taken this, I think we're going to be much better prepared if something does happen.
Ted Cherry, Granby Town Manager, speaks to the camera in the classroom.
The community is definitely more prepared because of this. It's been wonderful to see everyone come together and really work together for a common goal.
A geometric overlay is on aerial images of Granby and Grand County. A group photo is of all the NCBRT instructors and staff and community stakeholders that participated in this course. At least 30 people are shown. A beautiful extended image of Grand County across rolling hills and the river to the beautiful purple mountains in the distance ends the video. On a black screen, credits roll with special thanks to Cindy Rimmer, Dave Schaefer, Brett Schroetlin, Alexis Kimbrough, Josh Hardy, Ted Cherry, LSU NCBRT instructors and staff, class participants, and participating agencies. The LSU NCBRT wordmark appears and then the screen fades to black.